Hey guys, what's up? I'm coming today to just have a little bit of a talk with you guys. I just went through a semester of hell, okay? And it's not hell because it's hard, but hell because it's a lot of work. That's all grad school is. It is a lot of work. A lot of people think that, oh, you got to be smart, in order to excel in school. And that's not necessarily true. I mean, if there's a saying, and I can't remember it fully, I was trying to tell somebody this saying, and I still can't. So maybe I'm just going to throw it out there and you guys can fill me in on that saying because I don't know. My brain is overworked. But the saying is slow and steady dash wins the race. Is it slow and steady wins the race? Maybe it's slow and steady wins. I don't know, but I was trying to tell them that saying and I can't remember it. But it's just a lot of work. But you got to keep a lot of things in mind. Your mind got to be healthy. Your body got to be healthy. And you can't get stressed out over the littlest of things. And I've always been the type of person that always sees life from a positive point of view. And a lot of people always say that, if I hear somebody if somebody tells me a problem or whatever, I try not to go into, oh, woe is you or woe is me kind of thing. I always think, okay, well, what's the solution? Um, but anyway, so yeah, it was a lot of work. I was driving to school. I left my house at 8. I got to school at 9. And I was in school till like 4:15, 4:30. Then got home an hour later, basically. And then I worked up until maybe 1 or 2 o'clock at night. Not because, oh, it's just so much work, but because of the schedule that I chose, because I wanted to vacation in the beginning of the summer. I wanted to go to school for a month. So I was taking 2 8,000 level classes in 1 month and then vacation again at the end. So, I just finished school. And most of the videos I was recording was in anticipation for this period. So I had like a ton of like interview videos and a lot of other hair videos that I had recorded in May to release during this time because I knew it was crazy, but I didn't know it was going to be this crazy. And guess what? One week into one of my classes, I was sitting in class thinking, "Oh my God, I'm gonna fail this class." Like I had this epiphany, like what the hell did you just do? Like I had no idea because my other class, I was getting so much work in it, and every day I was doing it, doing it, doing it. While the other class, he had 2 midterms and 1 final. And in each of the midterms, that's when he would collect all the homework assignments plus all the other research and all the other stuff that we had to do for the class. And it's a research statistics class that is required for me to do. I am going to take a lot of statistics class because when I'm doing my dissertation, I want to be the stats person, or I want to be knowledgeable on that whole thing, that whole field, so I don't have to depend on anybody. But he was doing it those 3 days. So my other class that was taking up assignments every day, I was so busy trying to do that, those homework, that I hadn't made any time for my next class. And then, I think it was like a Wednesday, and he said, "Oh, on Monday was the midterm," and it just snuck up on me. But I was only in class for a week. Like, how am I gonna get a midterm after being in class for a week? By that time, he had covered 10 chapters. Okay, we started school the Friday, and by the Wednesday, this man had done 10 chapters. Okay, and I was sitting there, he was talking a lot of Greek because, with statistics, there's a lot of Greek symbols and, all this stuff. And it meant nothing to me. Okay? Nothing. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh, crap, Monday, today's Wednesday. And all that work, I hadn't even started. So I'm thinking to myself, this other class I really didn't need. I was taking it because I was interested in the field. This class I need. And, what am I going to do? And I was thinking, oh, I can't drop this class because, being full time and, all these different things. But I sat there and I said a prayer. And I said, Lord, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I need your help. Okay. And this thought came over me like, listen, you need to drop that other class that you don't need and see if maybe you can register for another class. It's been a week. I know there's drop and add period. How long do I? Okay. So I know there was drop and add period. So what can I do? I went to that class that I didn't need, and I sat there and I said to my neighbor, I said, "Gosh, I'm failing my Ursh class." And she was like, "You failing it?" I hadn't even turned in anything yet, but I'm saying I'm failing it because I know I didn't do anything yet, and it's gonna be a couple of days. And guys, it seemed like a lot of time, but I know that there's no way I could have done that work and this class that I was sitting in at the same time. And she was like, "Well, I'm in this other class, and it's readings, but he's not. It's not a stressful class, so maybe you can get in there." And then she told me who it was, and I was like, "Oh, I wanted to take his class, and he was gonna retire." So I was just like, "Oh my gosh." So I jumped on the computer. The guy started teaching, but I was on the computer, and I registered for the class. And then when I go to drop the class that I was sitting in, the computer said something. I forgot what it was, but it was basically like I couldn't do it because drop and add ended the day before. So you could add. They have the add period a day after drop and add ended. And I said, "Oh crap." So now I'm sitting there looking at 3 classes in the same short session, and I can't drop that class. And again, I said a prayer, and which I don't know. I guess if I am ever like stressed out, I just pray. Or if I feel like I can't do something, because this was just like, now it doesn't seem like a lot, but because it's at the level that I'm doing, you can't be doing certain stuff that makes you look. And I feel like I have this weight on my shoulder because I have to represent for my people. That's how I feel like. I am like few and far between in grad school at the level that I'm at. And I don't want to be, oh, there's that girl, that, this complexion that is not doing well. Like I feel like I have to represent. So, which is added pressure, and I don't mind because I don't want them to, block the next person coming in because I didn't do well. Anyways, said my prayer, and this thought came up. You need to get your butt up, because even though that man is teaching, you need to get your butt up, take your butt to the office, and see what you can do about taking that class off your schedule. So I did, and the guy was looking all perplexed in his face, but I don't care. And I walked into the office, and I tell you, God is so good. When I said to my old advisor, because he passed me on to who is going to be my advisor, he was a temporary person, and first I looked for my advisor. She wasn't there, and I was like, "Oh crap," And then I said, "Well, let me go look for this guy." I went to look for the guy. He was there, and I said to him, I said, "I just registered for the curriculum class," and he was like, "Oh, great." Before I even finished it, he was like, "Good, we needed the extra person so the class could make." And I was like, "Oh, I do want to keep it on my schedule, but I have this other class that it's not working out in terms of getting my work done for Ursh. And, I want to take it eventually, but being the 2 classes in a short session, I just can't find time to juggle both classes." So I said, "Is there anything you could do for me?" But because he needed me in that other class to make it, he worked it out, y'all. I'm telling you, God is just so good. So guess what I did? I went back to the class, picked up my stuff, and since it's all politics in grad school, because you don't want to step on anybody's toes and make it look like, oh, whatever. So I went to him and I said, "Oh, I just dropped your class," and I gave him some story, which was true. That I was going to take his class later, but right now I have to take this other class, and so on. And so I walked out, and when I told you, it felt like something was released out of me. Something was released out of me. And that night, I worked my butt. This was Wednesday, right? Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday, Sunday all day. Monday was the midterm, y'all. when I told you Vanny got a 98 on that exam, I was so happy. Okay. But I worked and worked till 3 o'clock. Okay. Every night. I got all my assignments done. I bring, guys, I didn't even think it was possible. Now, mind you, the Wednesday I was already 10 chapters, right? He covered Wednesday, Thursday, and Thursday and Friday. He added on because it's 2 chapters we were doing. So he added on. Some chapters was even some days he added 3 chapters. So, but I think those days he added 2. So we were up to chapter 14. Okay, which was like the fundamentals to it was ANOVA, which is analysis of variance. That was like the basis for all the other chapters. So if you understand those chapters, the other ones is basically like computer, understanding how to do your statistical programs and knowing what to look for and what they mean and so on. But me, that day when I was asking, that Wednesday when I was asking questions, I looked like I was an idiot. Okay. And I know that professor had no idea I was going to do as well. I was one of the top people in the class. I made a stupid mistake to get that 98. I was going to get 100. And everything else I got 100 on. My other class that I picked up, I got an A. I checked my classes last night. I got A's. Okay, I was so happy, but I am never going to do that again. If I'm going to take summer classes, I'm going to take them through, or I'm going to take one in the short session. Okay. My next video I'm going to tackle is why is it that we are not as a people represented in grad school, and especially in my field. And I think it's a gateway class, a gateway subject. A lot of people, or just society in general, has put mathematics on a pedestal, and a group or just minority, maybe women, we are not innately good. This is what all the research says. Like people think that minorities and women are not good at math, or we're not born good in math. All these craziness. But if we are good, we have to work hard. No, we all born with the same brains, and I think it's just bad experiences. Sometimes it's been passed on, like, teachers would say, ask certain questions to a group of people, but ask higher order questions to another group of people because that teacher think that that group of people is better at it. Guys, do not let your kids be influenced by certain societal stigmas. Okay, we are good in whatever we want to be good in, not because we have to work hard at it, but because we're all born overall with the same mental power. All right. And I have a lot to say because I have been reading a lot of research, and the field that I'm in, I have to do research myself when I get out. If I get out, see that if no, that's not good. I'm not going to speak that into the universe. When I get out, I will be doing that. And I think I'm going to go into the field or even do my dissertation in helping minority students with their perception, teacher perception, student perception of this subject. Why is it that when I go out and I tell people I'm a math teacher, they say, "Oh, you're smart"? What do you mean by that? It's a subject, and why is it if I said, "Oh, I'm an English teacher," why isn't it that, "Oh, you're smart"? No, this is the thing. Okay, this is it's not. And why is it that it's so few of us in grad school? Those are all reasons, and I think the more we go out there, and this is one of the reasons why I even have videos on this, is because I want us to be represented. I want people to feel like, my people to feel like they can do it. And maybe I'm naive to think that my little channel, I can influence one other person to go back to school. but it's not difficult. It's just a lot of work, and the benefits, I think, will be great. This is what I'm thinking. All right, guys. So I am at 14 minutes. It's ridiculous. So I'm going to have to cut this now. And maybe I'll edit it, maybe not. All right, guys. Deuces.